Welcome back to the Light Skinema podcast. This is not our typical numbered episode, so it's going to be much shorter today. But the Oscars just wrapped up as we're talking right now, so me and Jathan just wanted to hop on here real quick and kind of give our reaction to the night. So there's no there's no kind of strategy I'm playing in this, Jathan. Just kind of first of all, what do you think of the 98th Oscars tonight?
I think that the rewards were given out to the proper winners. I think this year was very competitive in certain categories, such as Best Picture, Best Director, but I think everyone kind of won a decent amount of awards, regardless if it was the ones that were intended, except for maybe Marty Supreme, if I recall correctly. I don't think won, but
Now I've got zero.
yeah, some people will be mad about that, but I think they were handled pretty well, and I think that the right decisions were made, which is something that you can't say every year with the Academy. So I think they nailed that.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, I mean, when it comes to this type of stuff, it's obviously opinionated. And I just, in my TikTok video today, I even said, like, I just treat this thing as like a celebration. It's not really the end all be all because I know there's films that you watched last year that had zero nominations. There's films that I love that had zero nominations. So, I mean, it's just whatever gets picked, whatever gets picked. But I will say, this is my fourth year watching the Oscars, and I will say, I feel like this year they had a wide range of films, and I feel like they did a good job, like you said, selecting the winners, selecting the nominations, and I was very pleased with the show. I think the show was really good. I know we were texting throughout it. I like Conan as the host. I don't know how you feel about him too much. I think he has done better than some people in the past, but I think they have a good pace of the show, and obviously there's some jokes in there, but I think they do a good job of doing more of a celebration. But
Like you said, I think the bar's pretty low when it comes to the hosts, especially just it's been a joke, honestly, and a lot of the jokes I really didn't care for. I was saying with my roommates, I'm like, I didn't laugh at one Conan O'Brien joke, and the Gen Z one really took me out. It was like super forced and is
yeah,
very awkward. And they did that joke right after the obituaries, which was just it just left a bad taste in my mouth. But award shows are not my like cup of tea, honestly. To be fair, and like Sean Penn, like he didn't show up yet. He's a three-time Oscar award winner, and that honestly kind of surprised me, especially with how you told me that he's like been very vocal about just him not caring for the Oscars.
yeah. I guess we can get into that first. Yeah. So Sean Penn becomes a three-time acting winner. He has two lead actor Oscars, one for Milk, one for Mystic River. Then this one was for supporting. Yeah, he's been outspoken about it. So I knew. I mean, most people knew that, like, knew he wasn't going to be there tonight. But I am a little shocked he won. I mean, he was my personal favorite pick, and I did pick him tonight for my predictions. But you know, someone that is so outspoken about it, I feel like the Academy didn't want to award that. But at the same time, I was starting to think like, I think One Battle is going to win a lot of awards, and I would find it hard not to have him be one of the winners. Um, but yeah, I think it's very deserving. Um,
One
so
Oscar after
in
another.
terms of literally, in terms of like my for what I picked, I went 18 for 20. I didn't do any of the short films or documentaries, but um, the one of the ones I got wrong was supporting actress, and it was Amy Madigan for Weapons, which she was very deserving of. You know, it was a good film. She played a character that was very creepy, intense. Um, but I did think Tiana Taylor was going to win just with the momentum of One Battle. I don't know what you thought for this category.
I have not seen Weapons, so I can't give a fully informed opinion. But Tiana Taylor, I think she was a very bright spot of that movie, but to me, she ultimately didn't have enough screen time for me to comfortably say that she should have had the award. I know Sentimental Value had two nominations in this category, and I was wondering if
Hmm.
if they were going to win any awards. and they did with Best International Film, which I felt like was a lock at that point in the awards, but obviously
Yeah,
very deserved.
yeah, I think bounce over to sentimental value. I think it was a great film. I really enjoyed it. I think just they didn't have much momentum throughout award season, and if you don't know by what I mean award season is all like the precursor shows. So that's unfortunate, but I was happy to see them win international. I also that was my pick, so I got that one right as well. But yeah, I think I don't know. We'll just keep going over some of the major ones. We'll go to the two lead actors, Jesse Buckley, which that was pretty much signed, sealed, and delivered since the beginning. I know you watched Hamnet. What maybe about a month or two now before like award season started. You watched it back in January, so I know you had strong feelings about her performance after you watched that.
Yeah, that was an amazing performance as well as just an amazing speech. I almost teared up, honestly. Like Chloe Zhao delivers a lot of very just heart provoking movies, so I wasn't really surprised with that win there. Um, Hamnet is a great story and great film. I think everyone should go check it out. I know two of my roommates hadn't seen it when we were watching the show, so maybe on Mother's Day, check it out for sure because it's just very emotional. And I can't completely fully relate to the struggles because one, I'm not a parent, and two, I'm not like a grieving parent, but just very powerful.
Yeah, yeah. It's she was very deserving. She wasn't my favorite of the year, and she wasn't even my favorite out of the nominated five. I think. I mean, me and Jathan have been spoken out about how much Chase Infinity we love her and her performance. I wish she got a nomination. I wish Amanda Seyfried got a nomination, but Jessie Buckley, not taking anything away from her, she was excellent in the movie. And I would say probably the category and the award tonight that was the most up in the air was actor in a leading role, and Michael B. Jordan did it. I mean, I I I can believe it, but I honestly at the same time I can't believe it because 2 weeks ago he really had no momentum. If I'm being honest, that's not me being mean. It's just the truth. Timothy had won most of them, and then Wagner Moore he won one of them at the Golden Globes, but the SAG Awards happened, and since then it's just been off to the races for Michael B. Jordan. I know you probably want to speak about this, Jathan, so I'll let you take the stage on this.
I mean, this is Light Skinema. Like, this is the Light Skinema podcast. We're going to support our guys over here. And Michael B. Jordan, while I wouldn't say that he has, like, really had the history and, like, has been snubbed or anything like that, but he's definitely very talented and puts 100% into each and every one of his roles. I mean, just thinking of Fruitvale Station, I mean, in Black Panther too. Like he's always the bright spot in these films, and people are always going to bring up the two characters argument, be like, "Oh, that's why he won." But if you actually watch the movie, you would know that him playing two characters has nothing to do with the result of the award. I mean, he just brought so much flavor and honestly, like realness to the role. I mean, I felt like I wasn't watching a character. I felt like I was watching a pivotal moment in the history of these two brothers' lives, and that's forever going to change their lives. And that's ultimately what Ryan Coogler was going for, who won Best Original Screenplay. To me, that was the biggest lock for me when it came to the Oscars. That was just an achievement in filmmaking for me.
Yeah, I want to hop over to Kugler in a second. I just want to speak on Michael B. Jordan real quick. Yeah, I mean, I would say almost 11 years ago is the first time I ever saw him in theater seeing Creed with Ryan Coogler directing and writing that movie as well. And since then, he's been one of my personal favorites. And you know, like you were kind of saying, his filmography isn't deep. There hasn't been many opportunities for him to show off his abilities like Sinners. So, obviously he's always had the talent to be here on this type of stage, but for it to be for this film, um, I know it means a lot for you. It means a lot for me. I saw that movie a bunch in theaters. I still watch it to this day. It's my fit. It's other than I would say maybe Tenet and Oppenheimer. It's my favorite of the 2020s. Um, it's just unbelievable. It's and his speech was great. It's just I was just looking at some of the history of the Oscars. There's only been six black men to win lead actor, and the first one was Sidney Poitier in '64, and then the next one was Denzel Washington in 2002. So there was nearly 60 years where nobody won, and then the past 2 decades have been pretty good. But yeah, it was great. And I want to also go on the record for saying this too. Timothy Chalamet was great. I know there's been a lot of discourse about his performance and his Oscars campaign, which unfortunately the Oscars is very political in the sense that it's not just about the performance; it's also about the campaign that surrounds it, and that's not taking anything away from Michael B. And that's not downgrading Timothy. It's just there's a lot that goes into it. Um, but he was great in um, Marty Supreme. Timothy will have his day. He will be a lead actor Oscar winner. I mean, we had to wait, I think, probably almost 20 years for maybe even more for Leo to win his best actor. So I'm sure Timothy will be back. I hope that neither of them get hate online. I feel like there's probably going to be a little bit of that for different reasons. I feel like people are going to say Michael B wasn't that good, and then people are going to say Timothy, he ruined his Oscar campaign. At the end of the day, whoever's voting on it, it's their choice. But Michael B, very deserving. Sinners was both our favorite films. The minute I walked out of Sinners, um, I was hoping that he would get recognized, and obviously he just got the biggest award of the year, so that's great. Moving over to Coogler, you said Jathan it was a lock for original screenplay. I certainly thought it was, so I was happy to see that. And one of my first reactions of seeing Sinners out of the theaters was how incredible the story was and how incredible the script was, because there's so much material that is in that movie, but it's done so well. Like there's so much stuff about the twins that we don't see. We just hear about it from the script, and that's just a credit to Ryan Coogler. If you want to kind of touch on him a little bit.
Yeah, we talked on the episode that is going up next week, which we recorded before this, about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Just the sense that uh, Tarantino developed a world here, and I'm not saying that all filmmakers don't do that, but it definitely feels like there is more stories to be told in this world, and that's just kind of the sense that I get when I watch Sinners and Coogler. Just to go back on your comment about making history, second black director to ever win an Oscar, number one being Jordan Peele for original screenplay, I
For
believe.
writing.
Yes, which
Yep.
is just an achievement in its own. Coogler, I think, really outdid himself with Sinners. I mean, I don't want to use the word glaze here, but I am going to give credit where credit is due. And I think the 15, what was it, 15, 16 nominations that broke Oscar history, I think it was deserved. Obviously, he did not win Best Director. That went to Paul Thomas Anderson. But I really think he had a huge horse in that race. And if you rewatch Sinners, I think with the awards in mind, I think it should tell you just how much one effort went into this movie and just the planning of it, and two, just how much heart and effort really was put into the movie, just in the screenplay from
Hmm.
directing to acting, costume design. I really don't think that it is overrated in any sense.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. And then um, one battle, obviously, that was the top award winner of tonight, taking home 6 Academy Awards, taking home Best Picture. I think just throughout the award season, it has been winning most of the Best Picture. most of the best director. Um, we did a whole episode. Our longest episode actually on our channel was a review of one battle after another. I know I've seen it a bunch of times. I think Jathan's seen it once or twice, I believe. How did you feel about One Battle tonight? Because going into the award show, it was the heavy favorite in terms of winning the most awards. And yeah, just kind of thoughts on the whole movie.
Um, just the and again, I'm going to use the word achievement. Just great work across the board. I really think Sinners in One Battle is like a really tough race. And say what you want about Best Picture or whatnot, but I think that One Battle absolutely deserved it. I mean, when I was sitting in the theater after I watched it, and by the time we got to the credits, it definitely, and I don't think of this a lot when I watch a movie. It definitely felt like one, an adventure, and two, just a complete story. I felt a complete beginning, middle, and end, from the setup to the crises in the middle and the ending. It really felt like a complete package, and I'm glad it's getting its recognition. I'm glad Paul Thomas Anderson finally has received an Oscar, as he said, even though it took a while. He definitely earned it. Um, just, I'm running out of adjectives here, but
Yeah,
great movie.
yeah. 30, like 30 years in the making, and he comes home. He took three today, which is nuts. It's very very cool. But kind of just going over some more stats. Frankenstein took home three, mostly for kind of the production and costume and makeup and hairstyling awards, which I think was very deserved. Did you see Frankenstein? You got to see it, right?
I did not get around to it,
Uh,
but like you said, just got a lot of technical rewards, which I don't. It was a Netflix movie, correct? It was distributed by Netflix, which I don't.
yeah,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't feel like they've gotten a lot of Oscar attention. I know they're relatively new, but
they've done pretty well. I will say off the top of my head, they had like The Power of the Dog a few years ago. They had Marriage Story. Um, I know those two for sure got them some Oscars, I think. But yeah, I mean, Netflix is a company that you know gives some filmmakers a lot of money and some good stuff, but they also do a lot of bad stuff. But I think this is great for Guillermo del Toro. Obviously, this was a passion project for him, and I think I think these were the only awards Frankenstein had a shot in, and I'm happy to see that they picked up all three because that movie it looks very good. It's very good. I saw it in theaters twice. Yeah, I saw it in theaters twice. Really enjoyed it. K-pop Demon Hunters. That's Netflix. I forgot about that. They walked away with two. Best animated film, best original song. Those were pretty locked in. While I don't personally love that movie, it's a little too kiddish for me. Not to downgrade it, but I think we're just out of the age demographic for it. But it was still a good film. It looks great. The song is great. The song is very good. I don't care what anybody says. That song's very heartwarming. Um, Hamnet only won ended up winning one award for Jesse Buckley, which
that's a big one.
during the award season makes yeah during the award season it kind of followed and made sense. But when this film was coming out, people were saying that this was probably going to win Best Picture. So it's fun to see because I keep up with award season throughout the year. So it's fun to see how it changes throughout the year because a lot of people thought this was going to be Chloe Zhao's next Best Director, Best Picture for Hamnet, which it didn't, but that doesn't take anything away from the film. Probably my favorite win of the night was F1 winning original score. Me and Jathan are big F1 movie fans. We really enjoyed that movie, so it was cool to see that at least go home with something. But yeah, I mean, I don't have much else. I mean, yeah, it was just a great night of celebrating film. Like I said, I feel like in the 4 years that I've been watching the Oscars and like watching all the movies that have been nominated and stuff. I think this year was probably one of the better ones, just in terms of the vast majority of winners. A lot of good movies were nominated. I feel like some years they strike out with some stuff. I feel like this year, the 10 that they selected for Best Picture and just like the acting and all the other categories are really great. Um, yeah, is anything else you want to add, Jathan, before we kind of wrap up the episode?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, were there any shockers for you? I know you kind of nailed all your picks here, but just any that
Yeah,
came to mind.
yeah, I was actually surprised about all my picks. Normally, I don't do that great. I would say the only two that somewhat shocked me were, well, casting shocked me. That we didn't talk about that. Casting went to One Battle, which is very deserving, like completely deserving. You have three Oscar winners in that movie in Benicio Leo and Sean Penn. You have Tiana Taylor, who has been in the game for a while, but this was really like her breakout role. Regina Hall, who obviously has been making movies for a very long time, she's very good in this. And then obviously finding Chase Infinity, I think that deserves winning an Oscar if you find somebody like that. But I personally had that going to Sinners because in all the other film awards, Sinners won that award. So I just thought it would pop over to the Oscars. So that one surprised me. And then I gotta say, Michael B. Jordan surprised me. I had him picked, and he was the person I wanted, but I did think Timothy was still gonna win. A lot of people were saying Timothy had a bad shot because of the opera and ballet comment he made, but he made that comment after the Oscars voting was already over with, and you know, like I said, all the precursors awards pretty much went to Timothy. So that was a little bit of a shock, which was nice. But yeah, I try not to treat this thing as like a competition, but I will say I think this is the best I've done this year in predicting who the winners are. I went, like I said, 18 for 20. So that was, I guess that was cool in guessing them. But yeah, I don't know. I think
Start betting.
yeah, I don't have much else for this. I can't do it for I. There's just something in me that can't do it for movies because I just don't want to bet against people, root against. It's just like I said, I try my best to keep this thing as a celebration rather than a competition or like all that. Especially because, like I said, this year I really liked all these movies and all these performances. There was like no weak links in any of the categories, which is rare to say. But yeah, I think the only thing I wanted to ask you um, for the rest of this episode, I know 2026, we're just in the beginning of it. We're in the first quarter of it, and there hasn't been much movies that have come out that have really impressed me this year yet. I know you haven't seen too many 2026 releases yet, but if you had to make a prediction, what would be the best picture for the 2027 Oscars? I know I don't have a list pulled up of what's coming out. I know you don't have a list pulled up, but off the top of your head, maybe what are some that you think will be maybe in that category or win the category?
Okay. For the record, I have not seen this film yet. It's coming out this week, I believe. But I have not stopped hearing good things about Project Hail Mary. And Ryan Gosling, he's been around the block. He's had some Oscar noms, if I'm not mistaken. I think that
Yep.
definitely has
Yes.
potential. Um, the Michael Jackson biopic, again, I think that has great potential just for maybe not score because it's not an original score, but I think a lot of people are going to be captivated by just they'll be reminded by how much of a icon and how huge Michael Jackson was, and I'm interested to see how that translates on screen. Um, let's see. It's definitely not going to be Wuthering Heights. I can tell you that. Um, The Odyssey. Just if we're talking best casting, I mean, we've got the 92 Dream Team right here. So,
Yeah.
did you have any in mind?
I think, I mean, for sure, The Odyssey, I'm sure is going to get nominated. It is the boring pick, but you know how much I love Chris Nolan. I would love to see him come next year, take the award season by storm again. But I think an interesting pick, personally, and I don't know how much you know about this film, is Digger by Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu. I mean, he has won Best Director back to back years for The Revenant and Birdman, but he makes films that are very Oscar darlings. Like the Oscars really like him. They get good responses. And I think why this film in particular might get a lot of buzz come next year is because who the leading actor is. And this man has not won an Academy Award for acting yet, is Tom Cruise. So I would really like, who knows how good this movie's going to be. Obviously, we're 8 months away from it, but I think that could be an interesting award season, seeing Tom Cruise finally get a shot at winning best lead actor. I would really enjoy seeing that, and the rest of the cast of the movie is really interesting too. We have like Riz Ahmed, Jesse Plemons, John Goodman, Sandra Hüller. So I could see some other people in this cast get nominated, and I don't know much about the movie, um, but yeah, that could be a cool one. I would really like to see Robert Eggers' Werewolf get some um, love. That would be really cool because
New
he
England
makes really good
native.
films. I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, Jathan loves The Lighthouse. That's one of your like all-time favorite movies. Um, Nosferatu to me was spectacular. That was my favorite movie of 2024, and I don't think he's gotten much awards attention for any of his stuff. Maybe some like production or technical aspects, but I don't think he's really gotten any like directing or writing or best picture nominations. So I think Robert Eggers' time is now, and that would be a really cool one. I'm looking forward to that movie.
That'd be cool if he struck while the iron's hot. But me personally, if it means we get 50 more Robert Eggers films, sign me up because
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
just master at horror and also just creating these insane visuals for me to look at and just give me 50. Like I need it. But
Yeah.
um
Absolutely.
I don't really have too much to go on, but apparently we're getting Mr. Beast as the host next year. If
Oh, I
unless that
hope
was a
not.
joke, but honestly wouldn't
I
surprise
hope
me
not.
in the Big 26.
I really hope not. I know it is moving to YouTube, so I mean that works for YouTube, but I think you know, and this is one thing about these shows. They are a show at the end of the day. They try to make them entertaining, and I think people like Conan who have hosted late night talk shows forever, they work perfect for this because it's right up their alley. So I'm on board with keeping Conan around for a while as long as he wants to do it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is the last closing thought. I don't know about you, but I always mark the Oscars as like the last chapter of the year before in film, and you know, over the past, I would say probably since 2020, I've really been getting into films, and obviously, me and Jathan have really ramped up at the rate we watch movies and how consistently we go to the movie theaters. So I know you, like you said, you're not the biggest award season person, but I feel like you probably feel this way too. The Oscars is just a nice way to kind of close up the year, kind of the final send off for the year, and I'm looking forward to the rest of 2026 and what it has in store for movies. I know there's a lot of cool stuff that's going to be coming out. There's some stuff that will come out that we probably have no idea that's even coming out at this point. And I think hopefully, I mean, this is my goal. Obviously, you're going to be graduating in what, 2 months, and then you'll be back home. So I think we can probably start consistently going to movies together, which is going to be it'll be nice. It'll be like back when we were in high school and we pretty much saw everything together at the same time. And then hopefully, maybe come the fall season, we can go to the Boston Independent Film Festival together. That would be really cool because a lot of films that I saw in that festival were nominated for awards tonight, which was really cool. So, you know, hopefully this time next year we'll get to experience a lot of these films together, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun year for sure.
Mm. Yeah, so that's all we got for this. I mean, like I said, this is not like our numbered episodes. This is kind of just a bonus fun Oscars reaction episode. But I think next week, if I'm correct, Jathan, our next episode's coming out, or 2 weeks. Is it next week?
It is next week.
Okay, yeah. So I'll just say it in this art because Jathan kind of alluded to it before. It's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. We recorded that episode a few weeks back, but I think it was a really good one. We had some fun with that one, and then yeah, I know that yeah, hopefully the next 2 months we can start to be pretty consistent. But I know that with school ending for you, it's gonna get hectic for you, and I know you're gonna want to enjoy your last 2 months out there. So we're gonna try our best. But I'm sure once schools ends and summer rolls around, I think we'll be back on a much more consistent schedule. But yeah, that's all I got for this little bonus episode.
Thanks, guys, for listening. Drop a like if you like, subscribe. You know the deal. We're on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. You know where to find us.
Yeah. Peace.